Hey guys, okay, so tonight I'm gonna replace the regulator rectifier on the ZX-12 that we all know is giving everyone problems. So I've blown a stator, I've replaced the stator with a new one, and now I prefer to replace both. So I'm gonna replace the regulator with a MOSFET one that I found from Roadster Cycles. Just see what they sent us. This is Jesse, the resident garage cat. And here's our instructions, very important. There's the regulator. See, all nice and shiny. I went for the FH020AA. Then here's our connector kit to connect everything on there. There's some 10 gauge cable, some very thick cable there. So let's get wiring. There's some PVC sheathing in it, and that's it. So let's get wiring. First I'm gonna remove the tank cover, both the seats and the tailpiece, so put the regulators on this side of the, sits right under here. And yeah, let's do that quickly. Okay, just a quick note, there you can see the plugs going to the regulator. This one is the one that goes out. The one from the stator coils, those blue wires over there, I've cut that one with the well wicking issue, so they are directly soldered onto the regulator, so I'll just unsolder them or clip them off or whatever. And then here you can see my battery is 100%. Nothing's charging at the moment because it's not running, and the regulator's screwed, so at least the battery is 100%. Okay, let me take out the tailpiece and then we can look what the regulator looks like. Okay, and there's the regulator. Now, you'll see the cables going here. So there's the three from the stator coils. Let me move this plug out of here. There we go. Okay, so there's the three from the stator coils. They are on the standard bikes that haven't been worked on. There are three white ones. And then this little black one, that's the one going from one of the coils to your fuse box under your tank. That's to switch the headlights on and off automatically. So if the bike's not running, then your lights are not on working. Then this is your output. You've got two black ones, two thick black ones, that's your earth. The two white ones, that's your plus, and then the red one is ignition. So this plug we're not going to connect to anything, so we just need to plug it out and insulate it really good so nothing can get in there. These are the ones that we are going to work with, and then we're going to pull in two new wires, a red and a black, to go in here under the tank. Okay, I just have to lift up the tank, and then into the battery box. So the battery box on the other side, I've already taken the cover off. So there's the battery box. Then this whole thing slides out. I prefer to put it directly on the battery, on the plus and minus, so we're going to use a bit more wire, but I think it's worth it just to make sure you've got the simplest circuit possible so you can troubleshoot if necessary. Okay, there's Rambo, the other resident garage cat. Now I've lifted up the tank, Now there you can see there's the wire coming from the stators. So I'm gonna take the wire down here. This little white wire, you'll see it's not connected at the moment and it's insulated. That's the one that comes from that black wire on the one stator coil going to your fuse box. At the moment I've got the headlight issue with the ZX-12 where the stator went and it blew the relay in the fuse box. So I still have to fix that. That's why this is just hanging there. But anyway, this goes up through your harness all the way up to your fuse box over there. So what I'm going to do, the red and black wire to the battery, I'm going to pull it through here, through the back here. And then I want it to come out at the bottom here. So that I can just take it around the corner here. Because on this cover there's already a gap for wires coming in here. Hence this one. So then we can easily just get it up here and throw it in there to the battery. So let me do that. Remember, always crimp and solder because it's going to carry quite a load, especially if your battery is flat. Then your wire should be able to run 16 amp minimum. So yeah, do it right and do it once. Okay guys, just a note, when ordering your kit from roadstercycles.com, order it with 2 or 3 feet of cable. The 1 feet is a bit on the short side. Luckily I've got extra cable. I don't know what gauge this is, we don't work with gauges in South Africa. So it's 4mm automotive wire. So I'm just going to extend those a bit. Probably around 2 wires per 10 gauge wire just to make sure. You can use the rings that comes in your kit. And yeah, there you can see my crimper. I don't have a cool hydraulic crimper like some people, but that should do fine. Okay guys, so on the ZX-12 we'll need to build this bracket because the old, let me just show you here. So the old rig sits there like that and the tailpiece is built around it. So for the other one, let me just get that one. As you can see, this one is the other way around. So if you mount it like this, you'll only be able to use one screw, and then your plugs that plugs in at the bottom is going to be in the way of the fairing. So we have to build the bracket. So this will fit on there, and those 2 holes are for the old one. So it's just to rotate it 90 degrees. Then your plugs can come in on the front and your fairing will be happy because it won't melt. Okay, so before I build the bracket, I just use tie wraps to get it into place because I can't wait to see it work. Here's my 3 wires from the stator with the black one for the headlights. Remember to put it on the rubbers to seal it before you crimp it and solder it. In your crimps, you just break it off, crimp it, solder it, and then it just snaps into the connector housing. And yeah, let me quickly do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, and there's our plug. Nicely snaps into place. There, all the seals are in. And there you go, now you can just plug it in there. Okay, now my earth and my positive has been crimped and soldered. Please remember to check polarity. There's your red dot, at the bottom is the green one, and the center isn't used, so I put the blank in there. And then check the connector fits that way, so red's on top and earth is at the bottom. Let's try and do this with one hand. Just take it, and clip it in. Check that it's all the way to the front. You can see it's not yet the front. I think I'm going to need two hands for this. So push it in all the way until it clicks, then move down your seal to keep water out of there. Do the same with the red one, and then you should be done. And there we've got it. Make sure to plug in both connectors till you hear the click, so they are nice and firmly in there. Make sure all your plugs and stuff are in there. If the camera will focus, there we go. Very nice job, I have to say so myself.